You wake up in the morning and believe you're the one calling the shots. You choose your clothes. You decide what to eat for breakfast. You pick the music on the way to work. Every action feels like it's the product of your own free will, your conscious decision. But if you stop for just a second and really look at your life, you might notice something uncomfortable. The decisions you think are yours might not be yours at all. Think about the brands you choose, the food you crave, the opinions you defend, the dreams you chase. Where did they come from? Did you truly decide them in some pure moment of clarity? Or were they planted in you, slowly, subtly, by years of influence? From the moment you opened your eyes as a child, you were being programmed. Your parents taught you what good and bad meant. Your teachers told you what success looked like. Your friends showed you what you had to like to fit in. Movies and social media told you what's cool, what's normal, and what's worth wanting. And all of it added up. Every small influence stacked on top of another. Until one day, you were living a life that felt like you, but was really just a carefully crafted reflection of other people's ideas, fears, and desires. The steering wheel in your hands feels solid. You think you're in control, navigating the road you've chosen. But what if the road was designed long before you ever got in the car? What if the destinations, the stops, even the billboards along the way were all decided for you, and you've been driving someone else's route your entire life? And here's the most unsettling part. We cling to this feeling of control because it's comforting. It makes the chaos of life feel smaller. It makes uncertainty feel manageable. But comfort is not the same as truth. And if you never question whether you're actually steering, you might spend your whole life speeding forward without ever realizing you're on rails. Every ad you see, every video that shows up on your feed, every recommended article, song, or product, you think you found it, but it found you. Nothing in your digital world is random. Behind the curtain, there are entire teams of behavioral scientists, designers, and engineers, not working to serve you, but to shape you. Their job is to predict what you'll click, what you'll buy, and what will keep you watching just a little longer. And the more they predict correctly, the more predictable you become. Your attention is the most valuable commodity on Earth. Governments want it, corporations want it, content creators want it. Every second your eyes are on a screen, you're generating profit for someone, even if it's costing you something you can't get back. Because attention isn't free, it's the currency you spend every single day, and the bill always comes due. Here's the dangerous part. They're not just influencing how you spend your time. They're influencing who you become. They feed you certain images, certain opinions, certain lifestyles, until those ideas feel like they're yours. You start wanting things you never wanted before, measuring your worth by standards you never agreed to, fearing things you never feared, and chasing things you never needed. And because it all feels so normal, so seamless, you don't notice the walls of the maze closing in around you. You tell yourself you're free, that you're making your own choices, but you're not seeing the invisible hands turning the wheel for you. And maybe the most dangerous illusion of all is that you've learned to love it, because the cage is comfortable, and comfort feels a lot like control until you try to leave. You plan your life like you're building a house. You draw the blueprints, set the foundation, and convince yourself that if you just work hard enough, everything will stand exactly the way you imagined. And for a while, it does. Things go according to plan. You start to believe you've cracked the code, that life will reward you for being organized, disciplined, and prepared. But then, it happens. A phone call in the middle of the night, a job you thought was secure, gone, someone you love, leaving, your health failing without warning. One random event, one you could never have predicted, knocks the entire structure down. And in that moment, you realize the truth. You never really had control. You had comfort. You had the illusion of stability, until life reminded you that it owes you nothing. Here's the trap. The more you try to control everything, the more fragile you become. Because every ounce of your peace depends on nothing going wrong. And when life does what it always does, throws the unexpected at you, you're not just facing the problem itself, you're facing the collapse of the identity you built around being in control. The market crashes, the storm hits, the plan fails, and suddenly it's not just your circumstances that are shaken, it's you. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the chaos isn't there to destroy you, but to remind you that life was never meant to be mastered, it was meant to be lived. Here's the paradox no one wants to face. The only way to gain control is to stop trying to control everything, not to quit, not to surrender in defeat, but to let go of the fantasy that the world will bend to your will if you just push hard enough. Life is more like the ocean than a chessboard. The ocean doesn't care about your plan. It will be calm one moment and wild the next. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to ride them, and the sailor who adapts will always go further than the one who fights the water. When you stop demanding that life follow your script, something strange happens. You stop fearing the unknown. You stop breaking down every time plans change. You start seeing opportunities where before you only saw threats. Because control isn't about forcing reality into shape, it's about shaping yourself to meet reality. It's about becoming the kind of person who can walk into chaos and still move forward. Calm, steady, unshaken. The people you admire most, the ones who seem unbreakable, they're not invincible. They've just stopped trying to control the uncontrollable. They've learned to master their own reactions instead of wasting their life trying to master everything else. That's real strength, not the power to make life obey you, but the ability to keep moving even when it doesn't. The real control was never about the outside world. It was never about bending life to your will or making every piece fall perfectly into place. It was always about you. You can't stop the storm from coming, but you can choose how you hold the wheel. You can't stop the waves from crashing, but you can decide whether you'll sink or learn to ride them. You can't keep people from leaving. You can't stop markets from collapsing. You can't slow down time, but you can own the way you show up when they do. That's the only control you've ever really had, and it's the only one that matters. Because once you stop trying to own the chaos, you can finally start owning yourself, your focus, your effort, your response. This is the shift most people never make. The shift from trying to control everything to mastering the only thing they truly can, their own mind. And when you do that, you stop being tossed around by life. You stop living in fear of the unknown. You stop breaking every time something doesn't go your way. The truth is, you never had control over the world, but you've always had control over how you face it. And the moment you stop chasing the illusion of control is the moment you finally have it.